morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Africa. Welcome to Daybreak Africa, your number one and favorite breakfast show, reaching you live from Television Nigeria, Guzape Hills, Abuja. The television with the trending news on politics, entertainment, sports, and loads of other exciting programs. I am Lucy Ora, and joining me this morning is my colleague,
Amino Adamo.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being with me this morning.
It's a pleasure.
We have lots and lots of news-making headlines this morning.
That's correct.
And then, of course, the rain was hitting the roof this morning and waking everybody up. Right now, we'll be talking about Rochas.
Okorocha.
Yes, he's now Senator Rochas Okorocha. Earlier, INEC refused to issue him his certificate. There were lots and lots of controversies going on that issue. What's your take on, him now being on the Senate?
Well, I think the certificate issue, it's a deliberate action by the All Progressive Congress Party to just punish Rochas, not give him the certificate because of the issues, a lot of issues behind political terrain in the Imo State. And I think he seems to be very happy now that he got that certificate. And every Nigerian knows what was happening in Imo State as regards the political structure of the Imo State. And Oshimole, the big Oshimole, after many consultations by the National Working Committee, and he failed to adhere to their suggestions and issues. So they decided, okay, well, if you think you are bigger than the party, I think they have a way to hold you to ransom. That's exactly what they did to him.
But it actually seems like INEC is going to appeal the case, because remember the court actually said issue the certificate to the senator, to now the senator, but it's looking like INEC is still going forward to appeal the case in court.
Lucy, we are Nigerian. No matter whatever INEC is going to do, I don't think, as far as it has been issued to him, those ones are just a child's talk now, because they cannot do anything behind the party. And well, let's wait and see what is going to be the outcome. But as far as I'm concerned, individually, I know that that is not going to happen again.
And of course, the wife of the president now says she wants to be addressed as the First Lady. You remember earlier in 2014, the wife of the president actually said there wouldn't be office of the First Lady of the country. But now the wife of the president is saying, I don't want to be addressed as wife of the president anymore. From today, it's going to be First Lady. Does that mean the president is now looking into having the office of the First Lady?
Lucy, let's take example from myself. Presume I am the president and you are my wife, so to speak. First tenure, when I became a president, and I said, no, I'm not going to make provision for the office of the wife of the president. Yeah, as a humble wife, you agreed. You understand? Now it is a second tenure, and this is a universal practice. Won't you raise an eyebrow? Of course you will, and I always say this is exactly what Aisha is doing. President of America, the wife is addressed as First Lady, and any other president wife across the world, they are known to be the First Lady. So why will Nigerian won't be different?
You don't think that is going to look like the president has a lot of promises he gave us that made us actually vote him on the first tenure? Do you think he's looking at deviating from some of those promises he gave to us?
The president is a human being, and I would not say he can be 100% perfect, you understand. So he is bound to fulfill and not fulfill some of the promises he had made during his campaign for elections. Yes, I agree with you that he will definitely deviate. Just is a human nature. He's definitely going to deviate.
Okay, I hope he doesn't deviate on the important issues concerning the economy.
Of course, the basic things that is affecting the common Nigerian, the common masses. We hope that he will not deviate from that.
Thank you so much. Right now, we'll be going to the AM News where Priscilla is waiting to give us the headlines. Stay with us.
The question of leadership is a factor in this regard to the success of the fight against the Boko Haram terrorists. And then you look at also the factor of morale.
Good morning and welcome. Thank God it's Friday. I am Priscilla Iwuram with the AM News. President Muhammadu Buhari said on Thursday that Nigeria's support for the Sahrawi Arab Democratic and its quest for self-determination had not changed. He noted that the country remained committed to the resolutions of the African Union and the United Nations of the status of Sadr. He spoke in Abuja when he received the president of Sadr, Ibrahim Gali, at the presidential villa. Nigeria had recognized Sadr on November 11, 1984, when Buhari forced to rule the country as a military head of state. Gali thanked Buhari and Nigeria for the support Sadr had continued to receive from the country, adding that Sadr needed the support of Nigeria to be freed from colonization. Meanwhile, Buhari has said Nigeria would do all within its ability to stabilize the West African sub-region. A former governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose, has commended President Muhammadu Buhari for honoring MKO Abiola, presumed winner of the June 12, 1993 presidential election. Buhari declared June 12 as Democracy Day and also conferred a posthumous award of Grand Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic on Abiola. He apologized on behalf of the federal government to his family for his death in the struggle to reclaim his mandate. However, the military junta of Ibrahim Babangida had annulled the 1993 election, adjudged as the freest and fairest in the nation's history. On Wednesday, the president named the Abuja National Stadium after Abiola. Fayose received this in his Twitter handle, saying honoring MKO Abiola by President Muhammadu Buhari is to Obasanjo's shame, noting that it remains a sore point of his political history because of ego. Obasanjo, who is the greatest beneficiary of the June 12, 1993 struggle, failed to honor his kingsman, MKO Abiola. Former governor and senator representing Imo West, Owele Rochas Okorocha, has cautioned against the misconception of the term Igbo presidency. Okorocha, who addressed newsmen after being sworn in as senator yesterday, said such an agenda could not have existed as it was impossible to hand over power to a region without due process. He said he was more concerned about having a president that will better a lot of Nigerians irrespective of ethnic affiliation. He further noted that the Southeast needed to mend fences across the country in order to remain politically relevant. The Nigeria Customs Service said on Thursday in Lagos that its revenue generation has increased to the region of 5.5 billion naira daily. The Controller General Colonel Hamid Ali, retired, made this known during a working visit to the headquarters of the National Association of Government-Approved Freight Forwarders in Lagos. Hamid, who was represented at the event as the Assistant Controller General and Customs Coordinator in charge of Zone A, KCA, said that the threat was made possible as a result of the automation of customs operations at the port. According to the Customs Boss, the increase in revenue generation has helped in the prompt payment of salaries of workers of the Nigeria Customs Service and made the organization a critical contributor to the nation's treasury in terms of revenue generation. The NAGA founder, Dr. Boniface Anibona, who hosted the occasion, in his remarks at the event asked port users to help the NCS by adhering to trade compliance. The Federal Road Safety Corps has asked former Senate President Bukola Saraki and about 219 lawmakers who failed to return to the Senate and House of Representatives to return their official vehicle number plates. The court on Thursday had requested the clerk of the National Assembly, Mohammed Sani Amolori, to retrieve the vehicle identification plates from about 69 senators and 151 members of the House of Representatives who failed to return to the 9th National Assembly. The FRSC Public Education Officer Court Commander VC Karim confirmed this in Abuja. Imo State Deputy Governor, candidate of the Action Alliance, AA, and immediate past Speaker of the House of Assembly, Acho Ihim, has defected to the ruling People's Democratic Party. The former Speaker's action was coming at a time the AA is still contesting the outcome of the governorship election, which was decided in favor of the PDP at the tribunal. Ihim confirmed that he decided to move on with his political career and had to join the PDP, where he said he would be better appreciated, adding that he was no longer part of the litigation, challenging the electoral victory of the state's governor, Emeka Ihedioha. According to him, he said Ihedioha was brought by God and should be supported. But the governorship candidate, Uche Nwosu, has dismissed Ihim's defection as inconsequential. And that was the AM News. Thanks for watching. I am Priscilla Iworm.
Welcome to TV and Business on Television Nigerian. I am Chiwendu Osisiogu. The interbank segment of the foreign exchange market received a boost of $210 million from the Central Bank of Nigeria following sales concluded on Tuesday. Figures obtained from the Central Bank of Nigeria indicated that authorized dealers in the wholesale segment of the market were offered $100 million, while the small and medium enterprises segment received $55 million. The sum of $55 million was allocated to customers requiring foreign exchange for invisibles such as tuition fees, medical payments, and basic travel allowance, among others. The Director of Corporate Communications Department, Isaac Okorafor, reaffirmed the bank's commitments towards ensuring stability in the foreign exchange market, adding that at the last intervention on Friday, the bank injected $294.7 million and CNY $31.4 million into the retail secondary market intervention sales segment. Meanwhile, the Naira on Tuesday exchanged at an average of 360 Naira per dollar in the BDC segment of the market. Investors in the nation's stock market lost 533 billion naira in the last 7 trading sessions as bearish sentiments persisted in the market. The market capitalization of equities listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange fell from 13.789 trillion naira on May 28 to 13.256 trillion naira on Tuesday. The Nigerian Stock Exchange All-Share Index declined to 30,099.83 basic points on Tuesday from 31,307 BPS. However, the all-share index and market capitalization depreciated by 2.05% and 2.06% last week to close at 30,432.13 BPS and 13.402 trillion naira respectively. A total turnover of 768.983 million shares worth 12.546 billion naira in 11,291 deals were traded last week by investors on the floor of the exchange, in contrast to a total of 1.082 billion shares valued at 18.111 billion naira the exchange had in 16,400 deals the previous week. The federal government may relax the ban on importation of vehicles through the land border. The government had in January 2017 ordered a ban on importation of vehicles through the land borders. The restrictions on the importation of vehicles follow that of rice, whose imports through the land borders had been banned since April 2016. However, the government may reconsider its decision after the successful implementation of a new initiative by the Nigerian Customs Service and the Customs Service of the Republic of Benin to automate and network all electronic information about incoming cargoes through the border. The Controller General NCS Colonel Amid Ali retired, who was represented by the Assistant Controller Information and Communication Technology Benjamin Abe at a stakeholders meeting on the new initiative, expressed confidence that with a successful implementation of the bilateral electronic connectivity program between Nigeria and the Republic of Benin, the federal government might lift the ban of items coming through the land border. That's the much we have for you on TVN Business Updates. I am Chiwendu Osisiogu. And remember, success usually comes to those who are too busy to be looking for it. Thanks for watching.
Introducing. All right, welcome back. Thank you very much, Priscilla and Chinwedu Ososeogwu. Today in the studio, we have with us here Mr. Ayotunye Ezike, aka Bami Akpala, and he's a drummer and artist. He performed on talking drum, and it's called Akpala, as is popularly known. You're highly welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome to the show, Itiko.
Yeah.
Well, before we launch the interview with Mr. Akpala, we'll bring to you news across Africa. Please enjoy.
Africa, oh, Africa, oh, my neighbor. Africa, 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 eh.
Welcome to News Across Africa on Daybreak Africa. The authorities in Uganda have repatriated the relatives of two people who died after contracting Ebola in the Democratic Republic of Congo. One member of the family, a 5-year-old boy, died on Tuesday, becoming the first victim of Ebola in Uganda. His grandmother has since succumbed to the disease. Other family members have been under quarantine in the western province of Kesezi before their repatriation. There have been more than 2,000 cases of Ebola in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo since the outbreak began there last August. Barclays in Zambia has had $4,000 stolen from a branch in one of the biggest bank heists in the country. The cash was stolen from the bank's Long Acres branch in the capital, Lusaka. Barclays says it suspects an employee who is currently on the run of being behind the robbery. The circumstances of the theft are not clear, but it is believed that the robber had keys to the vault. Kenya's Interior Ministry has ordered the deportation of 7 Chinese nationals who are described as having flagrantly violated immigration rules. This comes after a public tip-off that they were working at a large second-hand clothes market in the capital, Nairobi, without the right paperwork, a statement says. Officers found that 3 of the Chinese people had no valid work permit, and the other 4 were doing work unauthorized by the permit. Kenya welcomes and values foreigners who invest, work, and visit our country, and will continue to support those who adhere to immigration and labor laws, the statement said. Cameroon has set a target of 120 days to contain polio outbreak, with plans to vaccinate 122,225 children under 5 years old. In May, the Ministry of Health announced that a wild polio virus was found in Mara and Makari Health District in northern Cameroon. Laboratory results indicate that it was similar to one found in Nigeria in 2018, says the World Health Organization. To contain the polio virus, Cameroon has set vaccination days and health workers are going door to door informing people. The text messaging service in Ethiopia has been shut down. The news comes as the country experiences its third day in a row with a break in online access. The closure of the text messaging service coincides with the nationwide exams. There has been speculation that the internet blackout is aimed at trying to stop people cheating, but this has not been confirmed by the authorities. On Wednesday, the state broadcaster ETV reported that 4 students had been caught cheating after sending each other text messages. That's the much we have for you on news across Africa. Daybreak Africa continues in a moment.
Africa, oh, Africa, oh, my neighbor. Africa, 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 eh.
All right, thank you. That was News Across Africa on Daybreak Africa. We are back here in the studio, and we have with us in the studio Mr. Ayotoye Zike. You're welcome once again, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
You said you're an artist and a performing drum.
Yes, sir.
Please let us know what the talking drum is all about.
Yeah, like you. Talking drum is all about, like the name is, it's all about saying something, talking, communication between one person and the other, like the dancer and the drummer and some other people around like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So, how did you become a drummer?
Actually, you in Yoruba land, as my name implies, Anyan, the prefix Anyan. Once you see that name, as in once you see Anyan in any of Yoruba person's name, it means the person is a drummer. So I was born into it. My father is my father's work, my great grandfather's work. So
You said it. What was that?
in Yoruba land, we have a style of music or a genre of music which is called Akpala. So that is the kind of music I am into, and I play the talking drum too. So most of Yoruba music originated from this talking drum, and is donated from talking drum.
Okay, which part of the Yoruba land are you from actually?
I am from Oyo State.
Okay.
I mean, Ogbomoso.
Okay, Obomosho.
Yes.
How long have you been playing the drum?
Yeah, that's an interesting question if I would say, because like the talking drum, play talking drum is as old as I am, because
Wow.
I was born into it.
So you can't even, like, it's something you grew up knowing that you're doing it.
Yes.
That's very interesting. So talking about talking drum, are there lots of people that, grow up knowing how to play this drum?
Yes. Apart from you being born into it or being Anyo, you can also learn it. I have people that I train to. So
Wow,
yes.
that's very, very interesting.
Yeah.
So how do you communicate with your drum? How do people understand you by the time you perform
Yeah.
doing your drum thing?
The thing is, when you are playing talking drum, you are either saying one particular thing or the other. Like either you are abusing someone,
Wow.
or you are warning someone, or
You're celebrating
you are
someone.
celebrating. You must be saying something.
Something to
with it.
someone.
Yes.
Okay, so Mr. Ezekiel, what are you going to be saying to us this morning with your drum?
Let me just.
I hope you're not warning us.
Okay, you just tell me whatever you want me to.
I don't know.
Lucy, back then in the village, if our elders want to do some kind of festives, they used to take the drum around the community and sound it. I don't know if it is quite different from what you are doing now, but I don't know if that really is different from what you do. But when we were little, I understood that they make a sound of some drums to communicate to the villagers
to
that
the
maybe
villagers,
there's
to
going
gods.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So how does this, how is this different from what I'm trying to tell you?
It's not really different. It's just that those ones they use then, they are still using it now. It's the bigger one of this one.
Okay.
We call that one Iyailu, and we have Bata.
Okay.
Okay.
We have others. We have Aguda. We have Umili Iyailu. We have Gudu, which is Babailu itself. We have Iyailu. We have Gudu.
Okay.
Iyailu is the Iyailu. That's what it's called. But the Gudu is called Babailu.
Wow.
So
Okay. That's
you,
really
all these all these drums, all these talking drums, you can see them maybe when they are doing festival, Igbo festival, and all this normal ceremony like wedding and all
Just
that.
talking about ceremonies, are you often called for ceremonies?
Yes, in Abuja, yeah.
In Abuja here.
And all over, I've traveled abroad to play it.
Wow, that's very, very interesting.
Yes,
Okay, now you're going to be celebrating Daybreak Africa. So here, let's hear the sounds of your
Well,
drum and know what
the
it
floor
says
is
about
yours.
us. Wow.
Whoa.
Wow. Wow.
Lucy, I can see you can't even resist that beat.
I was already dancing
And,
to this.
you know,
Wow.
this reminds me when there's a Yoruba occasion and you see people dancing to this kind of beat and they say,
I'm
oh,
telling
one
you.
bed. You
One
remember
bed.
that?
That's
I think
very,
that's really
very,
reminds me
you know,
of
this
this.
is really, really interesting, and it's so beautiful to know that
Yeah.
the African culture is still beautiful, and we still have people like you who actually unadulterated African culture,
course, yeah,
beat
of
it
course.
the way it is and the way you grew up knowing how to do.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ezekiel, for joining us this morning, and we wish you all the best of luck in promoting the African culture.
Thank you.
Viewers at home. Right now, we'll be getting into the entertainment section where Priscilla will be joining us in the studio for all the trending gist. Stay with us.
Fashion is life.
And so is music.
Ladies!
If not play, make it stop, papas, I know they take. I want binu to it. Only more just for shoko.
And all the movies you can watch basically.
Walks through walls and stuff.
So watch us. Follow us.
Connect with us. Television Nigeria.
Hang with the gang.
Part of the fan.
On Flex Arena. It's entertainment. On our lips. Lips.
For almost a decade, the Nigerian army have given their all to ensure that our dear country is not overrun by Boko Haram insurgents. Some have in the process paid the ultimate price, while many will forever live with indelible scars occasioned by their determination to protect the country, no matter the hurdle. Despite these, they have remained resolute and undaunted, and today, all territories the insurgents once took control of have been recaptured and normalcy restored. And now, for the first time in a long time, the end of Boko Haram is foreseeable. Therefore, the wisest thing for the remaining insurgents to do is to surrender today or face total destruction from the army. Remember, the Nigerian army will stop at nothing to ensure that total peace is restored in all parts of the country. So, be wise and embrace peace today or get ready to be ruthlessly dealt with. This message is brought to you by the Coalition on Conflict Resolution and Human Rights in Nigeria.
Fashion is life.
And so is music.
Ladies! If na play make you stop papas, I know they take. I want binu to it. Only mo je for shoko.
And all the movies you can watch basically.
Walks through walls and stuff.
So watch us. Follow us.
Connect with us. Television Nigeria.
Hang with the gang.
Part of the fam.
On Flex Arena. It's entertainment. Lips.
Welcome to Living Treasures Academy. Enjoy a conducive and serene learning environment. Qualified and experienced teachers. Equipped computer laboratory and library. Secured atmosphere. Extracurricular activities. An all-embracing curriculum for total development of the child. Comprehensive education for leadership. Join us today from crèche to secondary levels. Living Treasures Academy, committed to excellence.
Wow! Television Nigeria sparkling around the whole world. Welcome to Television Nigeria, the #1 fast-growing satellite TV based in the heart of Abuja, transmitting on the free-to-air bouquet online concert platform. Television Nigeria, the home of movies, documentaries, music, birthday parties, entertainment, events, and many more. You can reach us at Television House opposite White House Mansion, Guzape area, Abuja, or visit us at www.tvn.com or call us on 080-9153-5054. Television Nigeria, the #1 choice of the whole world.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Daybreak Africa, reaching you live from Television Nigeria, Guzape Hills, Abuja. Before the break, I told you guys the Gossip Mama. It's going to be here to give us all the downloads of what's going on the social media. I have with us this morning Priscilla. Welcome to the show, Priscilla.
Thank you. Good morning.
So the floor is yours. Give us all the gists that is trending.
All right. Thank you very much. So for our first story today, it's about Real Madrid captain, Spanish defender Sergio Ramos, who will be having a star-studded wedding. And the guest at his wedding this weekend, he has reportedly not invited former teammate and friend Cristiano Ronaldo. The defender will marry television presenter Pilar Rubio at the famous Seville Cathedral this weekend. David Beckham and wife Victoria are on the 500-man guest list, but Ronaldo isn't. Sources say that this is as a result of a fallout the two had just before he left the team. So before now, Ronaldo used to be on the same team with him, but he left Real Madrid to Juventus. And according to reports, they had a little tiff before he left the team, and that is why he's not getting the chance to attend a wedding. I don't understand why this happens, because like they have a history of being friends, and then all of a sudden he's not invited to the wedding. All of his other teammates are invited except Ronaldo.
I'm sure, friendship is always like that. Sometimes it's good, sometimes,
Yeah.
But for his wedding, really.
Yeah, it's actually a lot, because I feel like the fact that they've been friends before,
no more what it is, could have invited him for the wedding.
Of course, yeah.
But who knows? I'm sure they will sort
Well,
out
he
their
may,
issues.
of course, have his reasons.
For not
That's
attending.
probably,
It could be some, real reasons why he couldn't attend.
Yeah, and the thing is, we don't really ever get the full story with these things. They let
That's
us
true.
know what they can give out.
what
So
they
the fact
can
is,
give out.
even the thief, we might not even know how big it is. So let's just wait to see what happens. All right, now to our next story. Oscar winner Cuba Gooding Jr. has been arrested on suspicion of forcible touching after he turned himself in. The 51-year-old actor turned himself in to authorities at about 2 p.m. on Thursday, where he was arrested for the misdemeanor charge. NYPD Detective Martin Brown confirmed to the Washington Post, according to police, Gooding touched a woman without her consent on Sunday night at Midtown Manhattan. The woman filed a police report. So Gooding is one of our popular favorites. And then the fact that something like this, I don't really understand why we're getting reports like this continuously about people that we look up to in some way. The woman claimed that he touched her and she was, according to her, she said she was not even expecting it because she respected him in some way. And then she also said that there is actually footage,
of it.
Yes. So the whole situation is blowing up, and then he and his lawyers, as usual, claim that the whole thing is false. But he turned himself into the police, and I respect that. He turned himself in after the charges came against him and everything.
The thing also is that people tend to forget that, actors, actresses, celebrities, they are also human and, prone to all this other acts so it's not about being you being a celebrity. It's about who you are, even before you are a celebrity. So anyway, I wish him all the best, and I hope that everything is sorted out. Yeah.
But it's really amazing me as well that over there their law is quite effective.
Yeah,
so many things you do in Nigeria here and you get away with it. It's not like that overseas.
I'm sure we'll get there.
Yeah.
Baby steps.
Maybe.
Yes. All right, so our next story, BB Niger star Chloe's bad experience with Uber driver. BB Niger star took to her social media handle to call out an Uber driver who, according to her, manhandled her whilst he was taking her home from the Lagos airport when she missed her flight. She posted a screen grab showing the Uber driver's face and profile on her Instagram. The said driver has come out to say that she was lying and the whole situation is false. According to her, she had gotten this Uber driver, and then even before he picked her up, he had been, behaving in some way. He refused to park in front of her. He parked across the road, told her to cross over. And then eventually, whilst they were in the car, she told him where she was headed, and he told her he could not go that far, so much. And then eventually, she claims that he called her a beast or something like that. According to her, she does not have human feelings, something like that. And I think that annoyed her, and then I think she flared up. And then eventually they came out of the car, and then she claimed he pushed her out of the car, and then people came, some other people that had been on the scene previously that were, because she's a celebrity, were waving at her, and she just waved back. They were saying they had, waved at her, and they were talking to her, and she walked past, So in her defense, she was like, fact is, she's a celebrity, yeah, but she's supposed to kneel down because you guys are waving at me and all of that. So all of them together, they were, talking and, telling her that because celebrities don't have, human feeling, blah, blah, blah. And she really got annoyed and everything. So she called out this Uber driver, and he claims that nobody, tried to touch her or manhandle her in any way. They actually had the problem, but he claims that there was no form, because she said that at some point she was scared for her life and everything, because they were gathering and everybody were eventually her team had to come and get her out of the situation. So like the whole thing is crazy.
With these Uber drivers, sometimes you really don't even know, who is telling the truth and who is not. That's the problem with this.
Yeah, this is not the first situation we've had in Nigeria with celebrities and Uber drivers.
Well, what could really be the problem? Because this Uber issue of celebrity and what have you is really making headlines.
The thing is, I think it happens regularly. Even with or without Uber, you can get into a cab and then you have issues with the cab guy, and then you guys quarrel, and I'm getting out of your car, get out of my car. But sometimes because these are celebrities, they have followers, and anything they tweet or say, people tend to see it a lot. And then, sometimes some actually say the real thing, why some don't. Because when you check it, the Uber guy, obviously, nobody knows him. And then the celebrity has the upper hand, to people. But at the end of the day, it's all about, every other company, that have taxis to caution their drivers. Because sometimes it gets very messy with these drivers. Actually.
And then, of course, the fact that we have to always consider the fact that these Uber drivers are also Nigerians as well.
And they are
they're also human as well.
That's true.
So yeah, some situations, you get into some situations and then you just act like...
The thing is... And why has it always been Uber? It's not happening with other drivers.
Trust me, it is. It's just that, the people just enter, just like she entered Uber. So she's going to talk about Uber. It's not like it doesn't happen in yellow cabs. We've had issues of even one chance in other cars,
And then the thing is, the fact is Uber is a company that is known. So it's easy to just point out. If it's just some random driver, you could not just... there's
no way to even identify who was driving.
The fact that it was an Uber driver, she had some kind of information on him, and still the company is liable in some way. So that's why she's coming out to say they should check, their drivers and find out background information about them before they give them. And I totally agree. You can't just give somebody the chance to be an Uber driver, because there's a lot involved in it.
They actually do a couple of background checks. I think what they're not doing right is training them properly. Because you can do background services. Yes, on customer service. Because some of those people, you can come to this office now and the guest in the show annoys you. You just have to smile because he is your guest. But some of those drivers, they don't really.
Lucy, I agree with you in the area of customer service, because customer service is one
that's the
thing
key, actually.
Yeah, that's the key.
And I think what these people do, they just get the drivers, they sign up, and everybody goes away.
Maybe they're more concerned about his effectiveness with the driving and how much he knows the area
instead
and
of
stuff like that.
How does he actually treat his customers.
But don't you think, being a celebrity, the driver could of course make advances to her and such issues?
There's that too. But like as far as I'm concerned, I feel like these situations will not stop. They'll keep coming up. I hope Uber finds a way to handle this so we don't get more reports. So let's go to our next story. Now, a young lady identified as Abimbola Ayanwale Mondinat has died after she was allegedly robbed and pushed out of a moving commercial bus by suspected armed robbers at Idi-Iroko Anthony Village area of Lagos State on Tuesday, June 11th. According to reports, Abimbola was returning home when she unknowingly boarded a bus filled with criminals. In the course of their journey, she was robbed, killed, and pushed out of the vehicle stark naked in front of a pizza joint in Idi-Iroko at about 10:45 p.m. on Tuesday, June 11th. Now, this is a very horrific situation.
It's quite sad indeed.
Yeah, there was video footage of seeing her. the video footage showed that he threw her out of the bus stark naked. So like the whole situation is crazy, and she was dead. And then her family members have come out, you know, they said she left home, she was hale and hearty, blah. Like it's so much. And then situations like this come up a lot.
A lot,
like,
even in Abuja.
yeah, it's becoming a lot more rampant. So people take vehicles, and then eventually they get
You don't find them
harassed,
and,
and all of
harassed
that.
and all
Some
that.
of them that are found, sometimes they are found in very horrible situations and all of that.
So that brings us to the, the insecurity in the country. Like it just keeps growing. You just keep hearing stories of. I think yesterday we had a story of a young girl killed in Ekiti State, and today this one. It's really, really a sad story. Look at a young beautiful girl like that just lost her life to hoodlums.
It's so sad, so sad indeed.
It's really, really sad.
Of course.
What a good topic. So thank you so much, Priscilla, for joining us this morning.
You're welcome.
All the news are interesting except the sad one you talked about
Still
right now.
the news.
Yeah, it's still the news anyway. Thank you so much. Right now, we'll be coming back with the newspaper review. Stay with us.
To secondary levels. Living Treasures Academy, committed to excellence.
Wow! Television Nigeria sparkling around the whole world. Welcome to Television Nigeria, the #1 fast-growing satellite TV based in the heart of Abuja, transmitting on the free-to-air bouquet on night concert platform. Television Nigeria, the home of movies, documentaries, music, birthday parties, entertainment, events, and many more. You can reach us at Television House opposite White House Mansion, Kuzape area, Abuja, or visit us at www.tvn.com or call us on 080-9153-5054. Television Nigeria, the #1 choice of the whole world.
Fashion is life.
And so is music.
Ladies, if not play, make you stop, Baba, so don't they take. I want binu to it. Only more jet for choco.
And all the movies you can watch basically.
Walks through walls and stuff.
So watch us. Follow us.
Connect with us. Television Nigeria.
Hang with the gang.
Part of the fam.
On Flex Arena.
It's entertainment.
Lips.
Thank you so much. Welcome to the studio, Mr. Victor.
Thank you.
So can we know what we have on the dailies this morning? What's making headlines?
Yes, quite a particular story that has been making the rounds. It's like almost in every paper. It's about the recent presidential tribunal holding in Abuja. So a major story occurred from it yesterday, and I think that is what most of these folks are talking about. But let's look at Punch to start with first, and then we'll see what the Punch are. But the Punch has a different headline from the rest of the papers, and what they say here is Democracy Day. Democracy Day, PDP opposition actually bashes Senate for rejecting motion to discuss Buhari's speech. Lawan sets up ad hoc committee. Senate adjourns till July 2. and that story is on page 2 of today's Punch. And there you have picture stories there, picture stories of albinos celebrating the National Conference on Albinos Awareness Day in Abuja yesterday as well. Anyway, and just below the picture stories there, you have news that we need 5,000 secondary school teachers. That is from the Benue government, and that story is on page 9. And just below that, you have infant, 7 others die, 12 injured in auto crashes, and that story is on pages 4 and 5. Fayose slams Obasanjo, hails Buhari for honoring MKO Abiola. I think we actually reported this earlier in our AM news. And above the masthead, you have Atiku PDP asking us for server we don't have. INEC tells Tribunal, and that is the story I was actually talking about. Too many political parties in Nigeria, a distraction, and that is from the United Nations, and that story is on page 9. 91 political parties, too much, okay. Reconciliation, Ganduje demands apology from Sanusi, and that story is on page 10. Failed gas deal, UK firm seeks seizure of $9 billion Nigerian assets, and that is on page 25. It's like instead of getting out of trouble, you're getting more into trouble.
I'm talking about this, the one that got me interested is the article, the tribunal,
Yeah.
the PDP, INEC saying they don't have server.
So that is the debate now, because if you know the new electoral act was supposed to have electronic voting kind of collection of results and all of that, and I think INEC were already prepared towards that, and most people from online and wherever they have come, especially youth corpers who serve in the election and all of that, they were coming out to say things that yes, they transmitted results via the card reader that once here. So, but right now we don't know. But
because I remember
Atiku
initially
PDP,
on Sunday during the election, at some point they said the INEC server was down.
So the thing is,
So
I think I'm not sure for certain, but I think that there is a server. But I'm not sure for certain.
Logically, it couldn't have been possible that INEC will not have a server to transmit results.
But INEC is now coming out to say they don't have a server.
You see, the thing is, the guidelines, I saw the guidelines for the 2019 election, and part of it was that results from the collation, from the polling unit were going to be transmitted to the server. So, INEC coming out again to say they don't have server, it's something that is...
and that's why the opposition party is taking their stand. They want INEC to produce the server.
But I'm not seeing people who are still discussing that aspect is, if indeed INEC has server, and INEC is saying they don't have server, and then Atiku is saying you have server and we have seen the result behind the server, how did you get access to the server? So you have to come around hacking, and then that would be another offense.
The issue is really controversial.
Well, it is controversial. And then they're talking about Benue State demanding 5,000
secondary school teachers.
Yes,
and I don't know. I don't know, because I haven't heard that they've built a new school. So when you're looking for more teachers, which is actually good, and anyway, see, that's actually a complicated issue on its own, because I'm thinking that you've not built new schools and you're needing 5,000 teachers. Where are the teachers going to work? Or is it a teacher for the 5,000 schools already existing? Maybe some have actually retired, or some are...
Okay, that's possible.
Yes,
and
it's possible.
This caught my attention actually, where fathers say slams Obasanjo. Why now is he commending Buhari?
No, you see, one time before I say, he always talks. He always talks. And
Talking
actually, yesterday when
That's
I
why
saw the tweet, yeah, actually yesterday when I saw the tweet, and like, two people in Nigeria that you can hate, you can love to, or you can hate to love. It's Fayose and Dino Melayi. Loquacious people that are not refined. They're always raw, but actually, when you pay attention, they're always saying some sensible things. But in all of this, what actually caught my own attention are two stories there, not even the tribunal basing. That too many political parties in Nigeria is a distraction. 91 political parties in a country of about, what's our figure again?
201 as estimated by United Nations.
So,
201
one thing to even let Nigerians, for we to know that Nigerians...
201 million. 201 million.
201 million. Okay, one thing to really make us know that we're not even a serious country to begin with is, we don't care about data. we just lay data. We don't, because we need data for planning. Right now, our population, we are basing our estimates on United Nations, an external organization. What's our own population from our own this calculation? We were supposed to have a census in 2016. That's after the one they did in 2006.
Yeah.
But they didn't, and I was saying that they were actually making preparations for that. So we don't know if we are 180. The president can come out tomorrow and say we are 200,
more, actually.
or even more. So now we say we are having too many political parties in distraction. India has about over 2,000 political parties, and they are having their things intact, and they are working, and over 2,000 political parties. And I was wondering that if we are going to go into council election, because not all those parties are going to contest for the prime minister or the presidency, but for the council election, a lot of them will contest. So it means their ballot paper is going to be like 3 volumes of big notes in university.
But you know how we are here in Nigeria. If we have less than these political parties, do you think it's gonna actually be as democratic as it should be?
One of the genius things that IBB did in his time, that even if you want to fight him for everything else, you have to praise him for that, was the fact that he introduced 2-party system. And that 2-party system, he made one a bit to the left, one a bit to the right, and it brought some sort of balance. Now, we'll no longer be having regional parties. We'll not be having parties that are quite dominant in one particular area. So it now looks like, because right now, if you look at APGA, anywhere you are outside the southeast, and you're contesting under APGA, it'd be like you're abducting Igbo party, and you're not even taking that serious. Until the merger between ACN, ANPP, CPC, and the rest of them.
Yeah, it has always been.
AC was in the south.
Yes,
you know that kind of thing. So, 2-party system is what we need. Multi-party system is too expensive for Nigeria to add. Imagine 200 and over 200 billion.
And then all of them spend a lot of money trying to run, actually.
But I'm saying, INEC alone, you are budgeting 200 billion naira for INEC alone to conduct an election.
Over 200 billion.
Over 200 billion. And then talk about the money that the parties then
even
spend.
the individuals spend
every 4 years.
Let's not waste time. We can go to the next paper. Please help me with the next paper.
Well, on the blueprint, here the screening headline is still the same thing we are talking about. PDP, Atiku asking for a server we don't have. And below that headline, we have coalition of results 40 PDP. Then electoral body records 1,689 litigations. That can be found on page 15 of blueprint. Then non-citizen, Atiku has no case. That's APC, and it can be found on page 6 of blueprint. Then below this picture here, we have banditry. 24 hours after Niger government's threat, death toll hits 62. 8 villages sacked, over 100 people displaced. Then it says, rising to over 60 as bandits continue the savage. Below the picture, it's UN says 2019 post peaceful once political parties reduce. That news can be found on page 5. Then MJTF kills 64 terrorists in northern Cameroon, loses 10, page 17. Then to the right, below the picture here, it says hepatitis B more infectious than HIV. This is coming from an expert. It can be found on page 13. Then to my left, on the masthead, we have 2019 budget. Power Works Housing Ministry gets 394.9 billion. It's found on page 34. Monetization, empty offices, crippled nurse business as MPS go on recess. That also can be found on page 5. Then above, to my right, we have workers on pension scheme hit 8,569,037 in first quarter. That is coming from NBS. That news can be found on page 34 of blueprint. Then court remands 4 for defiling, impregnating 15. Sorry, I take that again. Court remands 4 for defiling, impregnating 15-year-old girl. Page 8 of blueprint. Wow, this is quite interesting. On this page, I think is still the screaming headline.
Of the same
Sava.
article, tribunal.
Same server.
And it's just like what we were saying yesterday. What I saw is after the Niger governor's strike, they to hit 62. Just like what we were saying here yesterday with Mr. Charles, like every day you pick up the newspaper, every day you go online to surf for news, you get something about people dying. So the bandits, the death toll reaching to 62 is like they're telling the Niger governor that, what can you do, sir? So, but I think
now let's talk about this hepatitis B, more infections than HIV. What because not too many people are very much conscious about this hepatitis B, just as we do when it comes to HIV.
Yes.
You understand? How much sensitization do you think is really going on in the country?
I think there has been a number of sensitization NGOs, CSO coming out and even medical organizations. But the problem is that why maybe it's not taken too serious because it's not as death sentencing like HIV. So, though it's actually
more deadly.
Life. It's
I'm
life
sure,
risky.
I'm
But
sure.
you know the thing about HIV is that somebody contracts HIV and then they know that they just have to be their time well, use the remainder of their days on. But hepatitis B, yes, it's quite deadly as well, but you can still escape it. So I think that's what
we'll leave that for the medical practitioners to discuss about. Right now, we'll go straight to the nation on, the screaming headlines, just like it's same server, no server for PDP, article to check, INEC tells tribunal. APC Buhari urged panel to reject PDP candidates' request. And we have 25% pension funds for mortgage. That's continued on page 6. Kidnapped teacher relieves experience. Adopters have laptops with tracking devices. You get the full details of that on page 6. And the picture story here is House of Representative Speaker Femi Bajabi Amila and Deputy Speaker Ahmed Idri Wase on their way to the chamber for the first plenary section in Abuja yesterday. And then we have the Senate minority offices, PDP tips Araribe orders. That's continued on page 6. 62 killed as bandits sack 8 villages in Niger. That's a very sad one. EFCC plans oath-taking for whistleblowers. Navy destroys 2,829 firearms. That's continued on page 5 of the Nation. It seems like everything is going on about this, the server, the PDP server. But the one that caught my attention is that adopters have laptops and tracking devices.
That's sophisticated crime. They are going digital.
It seems like the more we talk about trying to cut off this insecurity thing going on, it's like even the bandits and their message is going is becoming tougher for our security agencies to even track and get hold of.
See, what I keep saying about this security issue is, I'm not a security expert, but one thing I know is that one thing that contributes a lot to this insecurity is lack of employment. There is no short-term remedy for this security issue. It's only long-term, and part of the long-term solution is jobs, provide jobs. This government right now is, the Nigerian government entirely, right from the ones we are having, they are not that innovative, they're not that creative. So what they need to do is allow a fertile ground for private investors, entrepreneurs, everybody, let people be able to flourish. And then allowing people to flourish is what? Favorable economic policies, infrastructures, most importantly, power. Once people have power, they will. I know somebody, a young boy that actually saw growing and all that, opened up a business, and within 3-4 months had to close it down. Why? That was in 2012. Why? Because there was no power, then fuel scarcity, then we start buying fuel for 250 naira per liter when you're supposed to buy it for 85 naira, 84 naira then. So a lot of these things, we just need jobs. We need
because the truth
a
is,
convenient.
as much as we try to avoid it every day, the bandits, they are
They
actually,
keep increasing.
they keep killing. The other day we saw about 43, 40 something, and then we saw about 13 in Niger, and then we're seeing 62.
You see this thing. You see this thing. I always say that
Yeah.
when you see the former president Obasanjo, he said there is now a different dimension to these attacks from the bandits, from whatever it is. When you have criminals that, like these guys, how I understand is, when they carry out one attack, two attack, and they are successful, this international terrorist organization like the ISIS and the Al-Qaeda and Al-Shabaab, whatever it is, when it look like, oh, you've gone there, you've conquered twice, 3 times, you can do more, let us support you, and then they come in. So it's the ideology now develops and then it goes on to
anyway, the
something
president
else.
has made it clear.
But
in
if
his-
there's
in
anything,
his- in
if
his
there's
speech.
anything at all the government is investing money in, is the security. But it seems we
Yeah,
are not
But you
making
see,
headway.
funny thing here is Navy destroys 2,829 firearms. Why do you have to destroy firearms when you have officers that can make use of those firearms? That is the
Anyway,
waste culture of
I
Nigeria.
think, just like the president said in the 12th June his speech, he said he's going to deal solely with those people.
That's his first priority.
But I think we are running out of time, so let me just take one more story here, and the rest are most pretty well we've taken. But here is what they call the Electoral Act, PIGB, that is this Petroleum, what they call Industry Governance Bill, that has been in contention for like only God knows when. All that set to face fresh legislation, National Assembly adjournment, so which means they're going to come back to discuss all of these stories again. But we'd like to see the what they call the Electoral Act, because it will help improve our electoral processes. And then the PIGB, when you see the content, you see that it's something that we must have to move our industry, the economy, entirely everything forward.
Okay.
Well, we hope so that this come to pass and we'll have a better Nigerian.
Amen.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Victor, for joining us on the, the review of the dailies this morning. And thank you to our viewers at home. Thank God it's Friday. I hope, don't forget, do not drink and drive and party responsibly. We'll be back same time on Monday morning. And do not forget, you can always leave your comments and follow us on all our social media handles. I am Lucy Ora, and have a lovely weekend. And with me, I keep forgetting.
Victor, the Baba.
No, actually, Victor Tehemba, and definitely on Monday I'll be here to do this again.
And I am Amino Adamo. Thank you for watching.
Aminu Benwe.